Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Vaipo. We're going to be continuing on with the second part of this best of three. This is going to be ShoWTime versus Probe. Both are Protoss players. We are on Orbital Shipyard, which is one of my favorite maps. Very, very good for Zerg versus pretty much anything. I just really like playing this map particularly, and of course my favorite being Arena out of all of them. So we're going to be seeing Probe on the bottom side, ShoWTime on the top, just like in the last game. That's exactly how they were positioned. And of course, in the last game, if you haven't seen it yet, please do so right now, because I will be shortly telling you who won that, and the link to that will probably be on my channel. So if you just scroll back on the video list, you will see that the previous game is just marked as game 1. So that's pretty much it. A standard block off coming off here from Probe, which might suggest something similar like last game. Generally, you don't really have to block against the Protoss because there isn't really any possibility for a Zerg run by, since you're not playing Zerg. But he might try to do this to hide any sort of tech and scouting, which I suppose would make sense in terms of blocking. Now, ShoWTime on the other hand is doing quite the opposite. He's not doing this at all. All he's doing is just preventing zealots from actually running into the mineral line, which I suppose is just as effective as denying some scouting, because it has its own uses basically. So you might not lose the probes, but at least you can be fully scouted, which is a little bit unfortunate. So there we go, another building here to block this off. A cybernetics core this time, same way as last time actually. So on the previous occasion, ShoWTime did the exact same thing, and instead of, or sorry, no, it was actually the other way around, my mistake. It was Probe that did this. He went with a cybernetics core before a second gateway, which is actually the exact same way he's playing this time. Although I doubt that he's going to try any of that shenanigans again. Didn't quite work out as well as he thought last time. He did get his Stargate scouted before it was even completed, and in that sense it ended up getting denied any sort of ability of building units, so that the pylon basically got destroyed. So in this one, we're going to see how it happens. As you can see here, this is actually a full-on block. Sometimes they would leave, particularly against Zerg, they would leave a little gap here, just stick a zealot there on hold position just to prevent any movement, and that's pretty much that. We're going to see if there's going to be any sort of proxy pylon going down here. This Probe very suspiciously hanging around here. Here we go, we have a Twilight Council, so there's going to be very quick tech coming out from ShoWTime, potentially going to get an early blink or maybe even zealot charge. Versus another Protoss, he's probably going to go for that blink just so he can counter the other player's blinking ability as well. So we have a Twilight Council for ShoWTime. On the other hand, Parting has opted to go for Parting. Why do I keep calling him Parting? Probe has actually decided to go for a robotics facility instead. So it's going to be interesting to see how that progresses. On one side you have the Blink Micro, on the other hand you have Immortals, which, as we both know, are absolute counters to Stalkers. They literally 3-shot them. Well, actually 4-shot them, but yeah, you get the point. They're super strong, doing a total of 50 damage on each hit. Ooh, this Adept gonna get easily cleaned up and just waiting for death right now. Unfortunate. What am I saying? Of course he's got a shadow. So he did, or not a shadow, what are they called again? Psionic transfer. It's a shade. So yeah, it is a shadow of sorts. So he did end up escaping with that, quite perfectly timed with that. Lucky to not get fired at, and that is pretty cool. This space almost fully saturated at this point. This base is at 13 probes, about to be 13. There we go, 13 probes. What is he building behind here? It is a Twilight Council, so the blink is going to be on the way for him as well very shortly. Is that an Immortal coming out? Nope, it's an Observer, just in case there is Dark Templar on the way, which as we can see at the moment is not the case. He does, however, have a Robotics Bay coming up, so it's going to be interesting to see, are we going to see Colossus play in this one? Something that is very weird that I've noticed is Colossus are not that popular in Legacy of the Void. I mean, they seem to be there every now and then versus Zerg, but other races, they just don't seem to exist that much, mainly because people tend to opt for more Blink Stalkers and Immortals, and that just seems to be sufficient to fight on. So let's see, there is a Blink technology being warped out very quickly. There is an adept just going around checking if there's any shenanigans going on. Going to be checking for any sort of proxies and hidden bases. In this case, I think he just wanted to see what the base was like. Let's have a quick vision of what ShoWTime actually sees. He has no sign of any sort of tech going down, absolutely no vision at all. So this is going to be a scary point for him right now. He has no idea what's going on. I suppose at this point he is about to see that there is a disruptor on the field, so that's an interesting point. He's going to see pretty much everything here with that shadow. A very good time to scout. Quite lucky he will spot the forge as well, which will be bringing upgrades very shortly. And let's see how that progresses. So a few stalkers coming down from ShoWTime. Also has his Immortal on the field now. Let's see, does he have another one? No, this is the first one. So Immortal versus Disruptors, each having to their own pace. Actually looks like the Disruptor was the choice for Probe rather than Colossus, so I should have predicted that. I didn't really quite realize that the robotics facility unlocks that. What do I see here? It doesn't show anything. Right, let's see what this engage is going to do. This, of course, very dangerous. Disruptors could potentially wipe out pretty much all of those stalkers right there, but they do blink away out into safety. It's a very good decision. Otherwise, he would have potentially lost pretty much everything there, and that would result in a big disaster and quite the opposite of what happened last time. Because if you remember, and by the way, I'll just mention it, ShoWTime won the last game, and the reason for it was he had absolutely crazy sick micro with his disruptors. He took out one disruptor with a Purification Nova, and then 3 with the next one. 3 disruptors with 1 Purification Nova. And at that point, he ended up getting another lucky shot on a reinforcing disruptor, and at that point, Probe called GG. There was just no way to fight off such brute force. Here we go, they do end up destroying one stalker here and then just blinking out of the way. This guy almost getting taken out, very close. Let's see, oh, he does blink into it, catches that low health and shield stalker. He is going to be chasing these guys down. There's no upgrades as of yet on either teams. Let's quickly bring up the upgrade tab. Both of them actually working on 1 ground weapons, and it does look like Probe is just a little bit ahead of ShoWTime. There is some sort of drop here, actually, look at that. We do have the overcharge onto the pylon, but 4 adepts here, probably just trying to get a bit of harassment done onto the creeps. There we go, we do have adepts actually on the field now, probably going to try to snipe them off, but it does look like, oh, it doesn't even get that one, but he does, I believe, end up losing one of his own. Oh, sorry, he actually blinked in here, so no, never mind, he actually is all the way over here. Getting cleaned up, unfortunately, not that great for him at this point. Does lose those 4 adepts just for a little bit of harassment. Let's have a look at the lost units tab. 10 probes lost on Probe's side, which is quite significant. It's not a huge amount, but this early in the game it could potentially cause quite a lot of distress for Probe in terms of remacroing. I mean, if you look here, he has 12 probes. Let's see what he has up here. 16 on the natural 4 ShoWTime, and 16 here as well, so he is a little bit better saturated on his expansions, which you might not think it's a lot, but if you look at the resources tab, just under 2,000 for ShoWTime and about 1,600 for Probe, which does make a small little bit of a difference eventually, and of course stacking up over every minute that this is persisting, which not the greatest of situations. Let's have a look at the production tab again. We do have level 2 upgrades coming down for both of our Protoss players here today. Oh, look at this. This is actually getting spotted straight away as soon as it's down. We're going to have a quick look to see what he does in fact see. He does see the robotics bay, of course. He knows all about it anyways. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Who will win this outcome? I do believe that the adept is going to come out on top here. Ooh, this is going to be a close one. Come on, you can do it! No, he's going to have to back off here. If he doesn't back off, he's going to get one shot. There we go. Oh, he does actually end up sniping that off. That's quite handy. Not quite sure why ShoWTime didn't just back off with it and let the other stalkers win or kill it. There we go. We do have the Nexus cancelled here. That's a good call from ShoWTime to deny that. Of course, you don't want to let the enemy have more bases than you. That is never a good sign. Both income and production, and of course the time that it takes to actually destroy your bases. Oh, huge Purification Nova coming down! Whoa! That was massive. This gameplay from ShoWTime with the disruptors is insane. He just wiped out something like 20 stalkers with that. Let me have a look. 19 stalkers dead, so about 15 of those probably have been lost to those disruptors. The control from ShoWTime is absolutely insane, and I cannot believe what I just saw. A big, massive explosion of loads of stalkers. Absolutely amazing gameplay here, and very, very exciting to see how this progresses. At this point, at the moment, ShoWTime is doing so much better than Probe. He has harassment going on here. He is threatening to engage onto this base here. He does, of course, have quite a lot of disruptors, 7 of them here and only 4 on ShoWTime, but the utilization of the... Oh, these guys are not going to be in place. Oh, this is going to drop. Does catch off just 1 stalker there. Very good blink micro from ShoWTime. But if you look at the base here, they did actually end up cleaning up a lot of the probes. They're still a little bit oversaturated actually on the main. Could potentially grab 4 of these probes and just transfer them down to the natural at the back. That would be of most benefit. Do have also one of those Colossus that I mentioned is rarely seen on the Protoss in the Protoss army these days, so nice to see a Colossus. I do believe that the reason they're not really there is because of how nerfed they are. I mean, if you look at their damage, it's 14 times 2, which is 28, and their range is only 6 until you upgrade it, which, thinking about it, let's compare it to the Stalker. Oh wow, another huge Purification Nova going down. I believe there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 Stalkers dropped out of that. Another Purification Nova. Oh my god, this is just insane. And all of these Purification Novas just absolutely wrecking the Stalkers. The fact that Probe just losing a little bit of focus onto his Stalkers, getting caught at the worst possible time, and Probe calls GG with that, of course. ShoWTime with his absolute dominance of the Protoss versus Protoss scene. Absolutely insane skills with those disruptors. I have never seen such crazy kills, and of course a little bit of bad luck from Probe, probably just not realizing what's going on until it's a little bit too late. So that was a great best of 3. Unfortunately, no third game in this one either. I am working through pretty much all of the replays, trying to get as many of them done before the next tournament of any sort starts off, and of course I'll be casting that as well, probably the whole thing if I do it during the actual tournament itself. Thank you for watching, guys. I really hope you have enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Please leave a like if you can, and of course subscribe if you want to see more. Good luck, take care, bye bye.